Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 15th of February 2022. I'm very sorry that I'm a bit late in recording this edition right now. It's almost 10:50 or almost 11 o'clock in Toronto. But I'm here now and we're going to have a good session. First of all, I'd like to thank all the subscribers. We touched the magical number of 150 subscribers early this morning. I would like to thank each and every one of our 150 subscribers for staying with us and seeing this young channel develop. We are way better today than we were 2 months ago with 0 subscribers. So thanks once again to all of you. And I'm going to keep on making the quality of our videos much better. So today's video, you will see that the charts that I'm going to show will be much sharper and much more clearer. So that's a little bit of incremental improvement that we have got here. As far as earnings are concerned, I'm still awaiting the Crispr Therapeutics earnings. I have not seen them on the net so far, so I'm expecting them to come later after the market close, and I'll bring all the news to you. So first, let us get started with the news for the day. I have a few news items. They are a bit longish because we are going to talk about what is causing this volatility in the market at this point of time, which is having much more weightage. So the first one is the Russia-Ukraine conflict. It seems that some moves made by the Russian military have kind of reduced the tensions among investors. And that's the reason why the oil prices are dropping. Just going to cue in NBC news report, which you can have a quick look at, and then we'll go on to the next news item.
Monitor those reports that Russia is pulling back some troops after concluding drills. Joining us right now to talk more about all of this is John Kilduff. He is, again, Capital founding partner and a CNBC contributor. And John, just looking at the headlines, kind of reading through what's happening, you see crude pulling back by about 2.8%. Where do you think crude should be if the reports are true, if the Russians do pull back their troops and this doesn't happen, the invasion?
Let's hope to God that they do and continue to follow through on this, because obviously this would be a horrific situation in terms of the loss of human life, if you believe the estimates that have been floating around about what an incursion would bring. Just wanted to say, in terms of the sarcasm comment, Becky, the gallows humor is a well-known survival tactic, so not unsurprising that the Ukraine president would talk that way. I think the price of oil would be around closer to $90 a barrel, either side of it by $2 for right now, as we finish up this high-demand winter season, and given the backdrop of the tight supplies that we're still staring down. We're coming out of that, though. We're coming out of this intense demand period for a while. We'll go into the spring shoulder demand season ahead of the summer driving season here in the U.S. and obviously other activities in Europe. So this was a very tense situation, and I think those of us who have been around not only Putin, but Lavrov yesterday, I thought his comments were key about sort of floating an idea with President Putin about getting out of this thing somehow diplomatically. Lavrov, big, long-time oil minister for Russia, known very well to those of us in the market who follow OPEC and OPEC Plus now closely. That was key yesterday, his commentary to me. But the circling of the date of February 16th and the moving of the U.S. Embassy, as Mr. O'Hanlon said yesterday, sort of made us all a lot more nervous about the situation. So I think the pullback you're seeing overnight will continue to the extent we see more troop pullback.
Now let's move to the next news item, which is going to be regarding the supply chain. Current wisdom is that two big threats to the rebalancing of global supply chains this year are going to be China's COVID-19 policy, as well as the talks between dock workers and port terminals on the US West Coast over a contract that expires on 1st of July. Lars Jensen, the CEO of Vespucci Maritime in Copenhagen, says that over the last 2 weeks, there have been warnings of cyber attacks in the event of escalation of Russia-Ukraine standoff into war. And these warnings are coming from the cyber intelligence services in the UK, the US, Canada, and in Denmark as well. It is expected that this year will be just as much as a struggle as of 2021 with regard to severe bottlenecks in supply chains and transport routes that drive costs up. Maersk reported record revenue and profits earlier this month, but still the shipping line said it expected supply chain problems to persist into the second quarter. Despite the supply chain woes, High consumer demand continues to fuel record sales growth and profits for several major retailers. Amazon reported a 22% increase in net sales in 2021. Late last year, Kroger and Walmart also reported strong sales as they prepared for the approaching holiday season. In its Q3 2021 earnings call, Kroger President and CEO Rodney McMullen said, the company chose to incur some significant costs to bolster its supply chain. For example, additional warehouses originally brought on to support its business through COVID were kept open through the holiday season. Council of Supply Chain Professionals Interim President and CEO Mark Baxa believes the origins of supply chain disruption occurred nearly 18 months before the COVID-19 pandemic hit. He cited the implementation by the Trump administration of increased tariffs on Chinese goods in September 2018 as the turning point. In reaction to the tariffs, many suppliers moved their sourcing from China to nations such as Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea, etc. And Baxa says those suppliers soon found themselves mired in issues surrounding infrastructure challenges, trade compliance, and legal processes around declaring where their goods were now made. Not only was Wuhan suspect for the origin of COVID, but on top of that, Wuhan was and is a major industrial location for the world, not just the automobile industry, but many other industries. The pandemic also drew a nail in the coffin for just-in-time production and inventory management, which was a major source of cost savings in production and therefore lower cost of goods sold. So this is what is behind all the problem that we see with the inflation with regard to supply chain bottleneck. So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen in the next few months and how soon the supply chain woes are going to subside, and whether a cyber attack can put a wrench in the works, or whether a labor union dispute in the West Coast could cause further aggravation to the situation. So we continue to hope for the best, but as investors, we have to continue to keep these things at the back of our mind when we look at all this volatility that's happening in the market. Now let's turn our attention to the markets. Our first point of call will be to look at the VXN. So let's go to the indices, indicators, and VXN. So here we have the VXN, and I hope this chart is much clearer than before. I'll continue doing some fine tuning to make sure that this looks good and smooth. So this is the chart which has got each candle being 1 day. So we have had a severe drop. We started off much high today at around 34.13, and we have dropped off all the way to 31.20. So we are right now at 31.31. We have a support here. This should be green color. We haven't touched this in a while. Here you go. This should be green because this is a support, and it happens to be at 31.07. Right now we are at 31.32. We also have support from the 9-day EMA, which is this yellow line, and we have another support below that with the 20-day EMA, which is the orange line. Our MACD is not yet bullish. It's in the bearish position. It is kind of moving away from the signal line. That's a good sign. The momentum is also dropping. This is also a good sign. Let us look at the NASDAQ. So again, each of these candles is 1 day. So NASDAQ is currently getting support from the 9-day EMA, which was earlier a resistance for it. So you can see the 9-day EMA was at 14,041, and right now the market is at 14,065 for the NASDAQ. So our MACD is looking bullish and the momentum is picking up. This is a very good sign. 276 points added today by NASDAQ. Let us go on to the biotech shares. And as always, I'm going to sort this chart so that I can see the biggest gainers on the top. So Beam has gained 8.52%. And if you look at this chart here, the histogram here is the volumes. We have got small volumes today compared to yesterday, but by the end of the day, I expect that it will be somewhere around 59.13, this line here, in terms of volume, which would mean that we have less volume today than we had yesterday for Beam. So Beam has got support from the 50-day moving average, which is this green line, and it has also crossed the two resistances we had before. So I'm going to mark them as support. The 65.12 resistance now becomes a support, and also our resistance, which was there at 70.08, now becomes a support. So that's about Beam. Let's look at Intelia, which is up 6.26%. The MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up. So we are looking good. Our next resistance is going to be at 100.64. Right now we are at 95.96. So if everything goes well today and this trend continues, I would expect us to end up around $5.5 for Intelia by the end of the day. Editas is up 5.45. And we have got MACD, which is bullish, but running in parallel with the signal line. Momentum, which is picking up, and we have a resistance from the 9-day EMA, which is at 17.29. Presently, we are at 16.65. So I'd hope that by the end of the day, we would have been very close to the 9-day EMA at 17.29. So somewhere around 17.20 is where I would expect Editas to end the day. Teladoc is up 4.09%. And our MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up. The sentiment is good right now, but anything can change. Everything is very volatile right now with regard to the geopolitical risks and the situation in Ukraine. The fact that we have reduced price of oil is going to flow through into the supply chain and reduce the inflationary pressure. So that's a very good positive for the markets and also from a Fed point of view. But remember, whatever green you're seeing here is transitory. I personally am looking at taking profits wherever I can see them and have the cash and sit in the sidelines for a while because I'm 100% into the market at this point of time. I have zero cash, so I want to take out some cash, and this is the opportunity I'll be looking at. So if ARCG were to go into profitable situation in my portfolio, it is right now minus 10%, to be honest with you. ARCG is minus 10% in my portfolio. So it's nowhere near green, but if it was in green, I would take the money out and wait for lower prices. Teladoc is down 4.11%. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to have a resistance from the 20-day EMA, which is at 75.28. So that's where I expect Teladoc to end the day if the positive momentum continues. Bluebird is up 4.13%. And its first resistance is going to be the horizontal resistance here, the red line that we have at 6.86. Right now we are at 6.68. So I'd be happy if we could cross the 6.86, and probably we'll get stopped by 6.89, which is the 9-day EMA, the yellow line that you see here. Verve is at 3.19%. And it's a 95-cent gain, and it's getting support from both the 9-day and the 20-day EMA, as well as the horizontal support from 29.72. So I'm going to mark this as a support out here. The MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up. So it's all looking good for Verve. It will end the day positive, probably $1.10. IMTX is up 3.16%. The MACD is flat. The momentum is picking up. And we are getting a resistance from the 9-day EMA. So I'll be happy if we can touch the 9-day EMA, which is at 9.34. Currently, we are at 9.15 with this stock. So that's what I have for IMTX. ARCG is up 2.94%. That's $1.40 gain, and it's being supported by the 9-day EMA as well as horizontal support at 48.82. And I'm waiting for the day to end before I turn this horizontal support into green. But we also have a resistance from the 20-day EMA, which is the orange line that you see here. MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up. So I suppose we'll end up the day somewhere close to 49.61 or maybe 49.5. Crispr is up 2.05%. It's below the 9-day EMA, therefore it's getting a resistance from there. So we started the day much higher, but we have been going down. So there's a bit of an indecision in the market. So you're seeing almost a doji candle out there. It's all we're waiting for the results. Let us look at the news and see if we have any news about the result. So we don't have anything. So the result is coming after hours. So that will make a determination. Allogene is up 2.10%, and the MACD is bullish, but it's going along with the signal line. Momentum is picking up. So I think that we are going to end the day possibly green or maybe flat for Allogene. Regeneron is up 1.3%, that is $8.12. The MACD is bullish and the momentum is picking up. So we have crossed 3 resistance lines, which I'm going to mark as supports. And our latest resistance is coming at 632.65. And I'm expecting that we will end up below this resistance today because we already have a huge gain of $8.12. And hopefully the current optimism in the market with regard to the Ukraine crisis continues to hold until the end of markets. Novartis is up 0.96 cents. Again, it's being constrained by the 20-day EMA. It's being supported by the 9-day EMA. And right now we are having resistance at 86.48. And that's what is holding up. We are right now at 86.51. So if we manage to end the day up, that will be a good outcome. But I don't think we are going to break above the 20-day EMA of 86.57. Next, PACB is up 0.82. And that's around 9 cents. It's being constrained by the 9-day EMA. And the MACD is bullish and the momentum is also picking up. But I'm thinking that I would be glad if PACB ends up positive today, maybe 10 cents or so. Vertex is up 0.22%. That is 51 cents. It has got a strong resistance from horizontal resistance out here at 234.58. And I'm going to mark that as a resistance here. And it also has resistance from the 9-day and the 20-day EMA, which are at 236.44 and 235.33 respectively. The MACD is bearish and the momentum is dropping. So I'd expect Vertex to probably lose some of the positive gains here and maybe end the day flat. Let's go to look at PFE, which is down 0.83. And it has got very, very strong resistance from all the exponential moving averages. The MACD is bearish and the momentum is also bearish, so nothing good can come out of it for PFE today. So that brings me to an end of this session. And I hope you like the new format, and I hope the quality has improved. Please put in your comments. They will guide me in making this channel better. And also let me know some shares apart from Crispr that you would be interested in so that we can add that to our coverage, because I strongly believe that you need to have investment in other sectors also. My personal choice is more in the EV sector and in the fintech sector. And if you guys like it, put some names down and I can add them so that we can move towards a balanced portfolio while we are waiting for the next 5 years in which we are going to get some gains from Crispr. So that's about it. And please don't forget to press the like here. And for all those of you who are new to the channel or first time here, please consider supporting our channel so that we can grow this community. Thanks and have a great day, guys. See you next. Bye for now.